purchases I made.
Okay.
Which is specifically, you what?
Never mind. Go ahead.
Which is specifically computer stuff, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Now, because I have my NAS, right, which is my hard drive server, but I need another one because I need to back up my current one to another one, right? Because you need a backup. Otherwise, something happens. This server, my apartment catches on fire or whatever.
Yeah.
All my stuff's gone.
Yeah.
So I need another one that has the capability to back up the entirety of my first one. Right?
That's a big
But
one.
I can do it a little more cost effectively. For several technical reasons. But there's like a bunch of hop swap. What am I even trying to say?
Swap.
There's a bunch of swapping of components that I need to do, right, to make this happen.
Yeah.
Because I have my case that holds the hard drives, right? Big server case. It's built for that purpose. Now, because I'm going to need to build another server, I take this opportunity to upgrade the current one. So I get a new motherboard with a new CPU, put those in, right? So I can take out the motherboard and CPU from the old one. And this also allows me to upgrade the RAM and everything. I just bought 128 gigs of RAM.
Wow.
And
Nice.
that's half of what I can put into this thing. I can put another 128 to give me 256.
What are
Do
you
need
doing,
that
Sean?
much? What do you need that
For a
much
pretty
for?
for a pretty like, well, it's because it's RAM is useful for ZFS, which is software RAID essentially.
And RAID is
So the more-
you should explain RAID.
Oh man, RAID is a ability to combine hard drives in a way that either gives you more redundancy or more capacity or both.
Okay.
Right. So I could like take two hard drives and mirror them together. So if one crashes, I still have the same data, right?
Whoa,
Or if
okay.
I take 6 hard drives, like I currently have, I can have 2 be parity, 4 be capacity essentially. So if any 2 of the hard drives die, then I still have data, and it's all good. I can just replace it, and then it rebuilds itself, and it's fine.
Yeah, it's like all this redundancy that you
Yeah,
have
it's
now.
important because when you have more things, the chances of something going wrong increase. So
Okay.
if you have more hard drives, then you need to have more redundancy. And then redundancy is not backup, right? Which is why I need another NAS
Yeah.
so I can back up, right?
Have you considered just using a backup service?
It's too expensive for the amount of data that I need to back up.
It is.
Like I'm backing up my most critical stuff right now, which is about 3 terabytes. And that's already 30, 35, 40 a month, you know?
Yeah.
If I want to back up, and that's one of the cheapest services, if I want to back up all the data I have, it's absurd. It's cheaper just to build a new server,
yeah.
honestly.
After like 6 months or like a year,
Yeah.
you would
Yeah.
make that back.
Just put it at your parents' place, leave it there, and then
It's exactly what I'm going to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
I'm going to, and they need a file share too, right, for all their stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to sell them on the idea now that like, hey, I
Wanna
will
buy
build
in?
you. I will. You help me pay for the hard drive is the most expensive part, and then because of this, because my data's on it, that means you get free support, like
Free IT
guaranteed
support.
uptime because I'm gonna want to have it up all the time.
Yep.
So
The only thing you're paying for is the electricity.
yeah, well maybe I could build that in. Like, hey, it's your file share. I'm getting support. Like,
Yeah.
regardless.
yeah. Yeah.
Trying to sell it. You're basically setting up your own MSP with your parents.
Yeah, kind of. So, so I have all this stuff, right, that I'm getting, but at the same time, I have another case, which is my, like video rendering server, right? That has all the parts that I need to take. That's like the case that I would use for this other NAS. So I need to get all that out into a new case to buy, which will be a server rack one finally. But it's like I have 3 servers essentially that are going to be swapping components.
Yeah.
And it's all like this daisy chain of stuff. But it's going to be very exciting.
Yeah.
So
That's really exciting.
and way more affordable doing this than any other
Yeah.
way.
I'm
you
just
could
judging
possibly
you
do it.
because you're like, I need to move to a new apartment, and you feel like all this stuff got upcoming. I'm like, dude, Sean, well, why are you
thing at
spending
a
money?
time. Yeah.
Why are you spending money?
To be fair, not a lot of money. And the second point, it's just a good time to do it, right? Because I'm going to be back home anyway. So if I'm going to bring stuff home for this type of work setup, it's going to be beneficial to do it now anyway. 'Cause
Okay.
I'm going there. So yeah,
Right before
all
Christmas.
this all this flip flopping
Yeah,
I need
very
to
good.
be doing.
Very good.
But it's exciting because it's like a big upgrade. But the crazy thing with server stuff is, it's so cheap. If like Colton, you went through this recently. You built a gaming PC, right?
Yeah.
Michael did too. Well, he upgraded his computer. It's expensive. Stuff's expensive.
Stuff is
right?
expensive,
Just
yeah.
just a GPU, right?
Nowadays, yeah.
$800,000. I could build a whole server that's a good server for half that. Because you just use used parts from 2013 and
Yeah.
they're just as good as right now.
Yeah.
Like the CPU that I got discontinued for a decade. Well,
Oh.
not quite a decade. Like it released in 2013.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Okay,
But
yeah.
it's still an
Yeah.
8-core, 16 thread Xenon Intel
Yeah,
processor.
and Xenon
Okay.
is like the server core standard.
Super reliable
Yeah.
server
Yeah.
CPU.
Are you
Oh,
doing
cool.
ECC
Never gonna
memory
die.
too, or no?
And ECC memory. So I have
Wow.
128 gigabytes of ECC memory.
Which ECC stands for
For-
error correcting. It means it basically it's much more reliable than your standard memory that you put in your desktop.
And this is RAM memory?
Yeah,
RAM, yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay.
So
it's pricey.
that only cost me I mean it's DDR3. It only cost me $150,
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Nice.
which is less than $1 per gigabyte of memory. It's pretty good.
Yeah, that's sick.
So I'm kind of excited about that. And it's going to ship. I bought it from eBay, right? All is going to ship real quick, apparently.
Okay.
I'll probably be able to do it this next weekend.
Sweet.
Nice. Well, that's super sick. So you're going to build it and then ship it to your parents or bring it back for the holidays kind of thing?
Well, that's a good question. So if I'm going to fly there, right? I
Right.
can't exactly check a computer case, I don't think.
I mean, you did that before though, right? I remember which time was it that you flew out back to
I think I
Michigan, Michigan
shipped-
State?
I don't. Yeah, the first time I came out there, I did ship all my stuff.
Okay, because I thought you
had to
literally
check.
flew with like I have an entire computer in my bag.
In my suitcase?
Yeah,
You know, I might have done that.
I'm pretty
yeah,
sure you
'cause
did.
It was
Fit?
like a small.
yeah, like
At
on the
the
way
time.
back freshman year, you're just like I'm gonna
Yeah.
fly back with my computer because I don't want
What?
anyone else like I don't want chippers touching it because I'm in
True.
the same way. Like I would
Right.
literally like my thought process is I'm driving to wherever I'm moving to next because I need like my stuff. You know,
Well, what I'd
wanna
probably
hold
do
on to
is
that
fly
computer.
with the components and
Right.
ship the case.
Ship the
right?
case.
Because the case is whatever, you
Yeah.
know.
Right.
But
the
the
hard
components are the hardest
Yeah,
and
and
the
you
hard
can-
drives, right?
you
Even
put
if there's
all
nothing in them, you know, it's better to keep them with me.
Yeah, keep them all cushioned, bubble wrapped, whatever. Just stick it in the suitcase and you're good.
Yeah, it's gonna be. It'll be interesting. I'll figure it all out somehow.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
That's cool. Well, I want to join on this server service as well. Buy you a 2 terabyte hard drive SSD. Be like, Sean, I don't know. Just take it, use it, and then put my stuff on it. Pay you $5
Yeah.
a month.
It's Sean Drive. It's not OneDrive. It's Sean,
Sean
Drive.
Drive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hey, you know,
Show
I-
drive.
I'm
And
not exactly.
you actually could do that
opposed
with
to
Nextcloud and
Yeah.
similar software like that.
I just need
Although at that point, honestly, it's probably cheaper just going with a regular like provider,
Yeah.
and they'll have more uptime and reliability.
Yeah, but I'm paying you. I'm not paying some faceless corporation.
yeah,
That's true. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you know that your data,
Yeah,
where it is.
It's
Yeah.
like
It's at my house.
I
It's
could
like
go pick it up if I
buying
want.
organic food from your local farmer, right? Except
Yeah.
I'm buying organic data from my local server farmer.
That is a very good comparison. I had not thought of that.
Yeah.
And Sean, if I buy you like 2 GPUs, can you just farm Ethereum for me or something? Can you figure out how to do that?
Can I figure out? Sure. I don't know if I want to take the power.
No,
hit to that.
Oh,
here's
yeah,
here's
yeah.
the real kicker. Just create like a bot that will automatically install itself on a bunch of random computers and farm Ethereum that way. That's the
you
the real
actually
way.
can't mine Ethereum anymore. So there's that too.
Wait, really?
Really? I didn't know that.
Well, once they migrated to proof of work versus proof of stake, with Ethereum version 2 that recently launched.
Yeah.
You can't really mine it anymore. It's just not how that works.
Wow.
How does it work then?
That's
Just
crazy.
the smart contracts?
It's more. Now I'm not as amazingly well versed on this, but to my not limited knowledge, it is. I can put my Ethereum up for stake to prove that I have this, and that like earns me interest, which is used to then pay for, like, make new Ethereum.
I don't get that at all. We need like a crypto bro in here to fully explain it.
I
I'm
read
the
up
last
on it at
person
one
to be a
point,
crypto bro.
but I don't know. What it means is you can have the same functionality, but without the super high energy cost to actually
Oh,
calculate the work that shows that the stuff's it's existing. You know?
I see. I didn't know that was a consequence of like you can't mine it anymore with the way more efficient process of the coin or whatever.
So it's more like
Yeah.
people who own the coin are the ones who are also doing the calculations for it.
And well, it's not necessarily calculating anymore. It's more of just proving you have it. It's like you're staking it, essentially investing. You know, if you think of it that way.
Yeah.
So I have some of my Ethereum staked, which means it's I'm struggling here. The cost of it is being, or the cost of the worth of of the coin is being used to help sustain the blockchain as transactions are written to it, and the reward for that is interest, which
Yeah.
is like the reward for mining in a way.
So it's
it's like you
almost
get a
like
percentage
a
on that.
bank CD in a way. Like
I don't know what a bank CD is.
have you
but
ever used a
sure.
CD before?
A CD, yeah, but
No, so
For
a
a
CD
bank?
for a bank is you basically, all right, here's my contract. The bank holds on to my money for, like, say I put $20,000 into a CD. And they give me, hey, here's your guaranteed interest on that money. And like right now, CDs are actually really good. They're like 3 to 4%. I mean, obviously, which is not as good as, you know, put it in the market, but having
It
liquidity
is like
on that.
guaranteed. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
having it's somewhat more liquid, and you don't have to like buy and sell, right? You know, it's less volatile. Sorry,
Okay.
it's less liquid,
Yeah.
but it's less volatile.
Yeah. Yeah.
But with with CD, yeah, it's basically like, hey, here's your money. You give
but
the bank
you can't
your
take it
money.
out. Like what's the
Yeah, you basically have
restriction
like a 12-month period or a 7-month period or a
Okay.
24-month period. You know, the longer you put the money in, the higher interest rate you usually get. Saying,
Right.
all right, here you go. This is put away. This is for the bank to use, and they give you a bit of money back on top of
That sounds similar.
Okay.
I'm not sure how quickly you can withdraw or not. I know while they were converting it, for example, like the conversion or the migration from Ethereum 1 to 2 took a while. And it's what they've been working towards for a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah.
But I staked some a while ago, like when they first offered the ability to stake it, knowing that I can't withdraw that at all until
Yeah.
it even becomes a thing.
Right. Right.
So I couldn't even withdraw it even if I wanted to. And there was no determined time when I would be able
Yeah.
to.
They're like, hey, you'll get this APR,
yeah.
but or your return rate percentage, whatever.
But it was cool because I could see, that's how much I've earned on interest by doing nothing.
Yeah, by literally
Ev-
just putting it there. Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I need to do that.
Yeah, interest is.
I don't know. Again, I'm not super versed in it. I just did it and know a little bit.
Yeah.
That's
You're
kind of
making
about it.
interest on your Ethereum, getting some extra Ethereum.
I am,
for
and they were
staking it.
paying me that in the regular Ethereum, which is
Yeah.
kind of funny.
Yeah.
But it's
It is what it is. Yeah.
so I cannot mine Ethereum for you, but a bunch of other stuff you still
we
mine.
can
Proof-
still
it's
mine
proof of
other
work.
coins. Yeah. Just
That's
not
true.
Ethereum. Okay.
I have never found that idea of mining stuff appealing. Maybe
don't
because I
know.
don't like huge upfront costs.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But-
it is a big
Well,
upfront
I
cost.
feel like the value right now is diminishing.
Well, I think the work it takes to get the same amount of value is a lot more than it used to be because of how much more popular it's become. So
Yeah.
consequently, the work has increased for the same value. So it's become less profitable to mine it.
Whereas before, it used to be probably pretty good. Like you were getting a decent amount of coinage.
Yeah.
With the uptick in the crypto market, you're getting a lot of money. So, but
Do
yeah,
you know what I learned about though? If it's in the crypto sphere, right? So there's all sorts of coins for all sorts of things, right?
absolutely, yeah.
One of which I saw when I moved or before I moved out here was there is a cryptocurrency that you get paid in for sharing your internet, right? So the theory is you put up an antenna at your window or whatnot
Yeah.
and plug that into your modem and share it. Imagine a separate VLAN, Michael, right?
Yep.
You share your internet, right? And then the people who then use that pay for it in a certain cryptocurrency.
So
And you
it's basically, hijacking your neighbor's Wi-Fi, but with extra steps,
kind of,
Yeah.
right?
and you're paying for it like a good
I
citizen.
was gonna say,
And there's weird, when I was looking into it, there's this weird hexagonal map, right? Where you can see who's sharing stuff where. Way
Yeah.
more than I thought, actually. I had never
Whoa.
even heard of this service, but there's a ton, right? Even in my city, several, like tons and tons of coverage for that. And somehow you make more money if you're near enough to another person, but not too near, because then you're able to get better coverage, right?
Right.
So it definitely depends on who's sharing it around you and how wide your range is.
So
and
it's a
everything like that.
decentralized cell service, essentially.
Yeah, kind of. Or like decentralized Wi-Fi, but it's radio, I think, because it's further than just Wi-Fi.
yeah.
So you have to
I'm
this
assuming
box,
it's a
right.
Yeah, it's like a box, and you got like a big antenna, and then it just sends
No,
it
it's
to
not
that.
even that big. It's just a box with imagine like a half-height car antenna or something like that.
Right.
I stick that to my window, and then I make money supposedly.
You make
Now,
money.
the box itself cost I think $400 or $500, right?
Okay.
And I thought, oh, that's kind of expensive. I was trying to do the math on how much I could potentially earn in the area.
Gotcha.
And it's better if you're higher up, right? And I'm on the 5th story, so it would have been beneficial to have one because then I can potentially get to a bigger
yeah.
area.
Yeah. Wider bandwidth there.
What about your
But
new
it's this whole
apartment?
thing that I had never known that this service existed, yet apparently there's a lot of it,
Huh.
right?
That's really weird.
It's crazy.
Up and coming. That is
It's-
interesting.
It's so weird how crypto has just become its own entity.
Let me see if I can find it.
It's cool that it's kind of in this Wild West area right now where there's so many ideas and you can profit off of it.
Oh, there it is.
If it's a good idea and people are using it, you if you put the work in and you kind of find that little niche, you can kind of just do it and potentially make a little bit of a side money. It's kind of sick.
So what I was talking about was called Helium.
Okay.
And if you look it up, I just posted in our chat. It's called Helium, the People's Network, I think. Is what they called
People
it.
powered network. Yeah.
There's
A wireless
977 thousand hotspots, almost 1 million hotspots. And the HNT is the coin, and that is 134 million of those circulating.
What's their USD conversion right now?
Good question. Let me find out. Hold, please.
Yeah, because I mean, if you're in an area, especially in a city, and you have fiber internet, I bet people would pay for that. Oh, I have fiber. Everyone else has cable.
Yeah. It's on Coinbase.
Okay. Yeah.
can buy it on
okay,
Coinbase.
here it is. 2.2 USD.
Interesting.
It's down quite a bit, I'll be honest. I have to look this up.
Oh, is it?
It
Like most
peaked
crypto
Well,
is.
all
in-
crypto is down quite a bit because of the
Yeah.
Just-
FTX.
Yeah, in general.
But when it peaked in November of 2021, it was at 47 USD per coin.
Wow, that's a big drop.
So maybe I should start mining this again and then,
Yeah, maybe.
kick it go back.
Who knows?
Maybe.
But it's interesting. I didn't understand how this worked. So you can mine, stake it, and use it. Who uses helium? I don't care
Everyone
about that.
uses helium.
Use.
What a silly question.
Enterprise. Connect your device to the network. What?
Imagine doing
Yeah,
it.
so I don't understand. It's this weird distributed network that almost reminds me of Tor, but not entirely.
Yeah.
Huh.
So imagine doing this at MSU. It's like, here you go.
Maybe. Yeah.
Everyone,
coulda worked.
But everyone's using the internet for MSU itself. That'd be kind of hilarious.
That would be pretty funny. Yeah. I wonder if that would work. Nah, it probably wouldn't work because everyone's got free internet access. So who's going to connect to your access? You know?
People who don't have free internet access. There's plenty of people who didn't have free internet.
In like the dorms?
I can pay to use Helium to download data. So okay, there's a cost calculator.
Like,
Simple
remember,
usage-based
Colton,
pricing.
when we were living in Shaw, we had to have our own separate internet.
I thought we just had to have our router. We had a router. I didn't pay
Correct.
for
Yeah.
the internet.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're right. Personal router.
I guess, yeah, you could. But, yeah, it's like, I guess someone could either buy their own router and connect to the Wi and like use the Wi-Fi, or they could pay money to just piggyback off someone else's router. Sounds
Well,
like
are they
that's
paying
how that
for it,
works.
or is it just a? Are they paying for it, or are they? Well, like, what's going on, Sean? Do they?
thought-
Or is it like automatically generated just by someone using it, or is it someone
Yeah, I think-
actively paying for it?
Oh, so I don't have
I think
to pay.
I think you're paid by the network to maintain the network, and then also paid to if someone uses it. Or a combination of this.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out. They have a data calculator on the website, and I'm trying to figure out how much it would cost me to use it. Right?
Yeah, like
If I was going
do
to
you have
pay
to
for
pay,
data.
Do you have to pay like
So they
a little
say 24
subscription fee?
bytes. One packet is 24 bytes. So how many?
4 bytes.
So I'm just going to do 20 million bytes. It's about 20 gigs.
Yeah.
I think that's enough zeros. So if I do that every day, and how much is my cost for the month? Nope, that didn't make sense. I don't know how this works.
It's a scam.
I'm sure, I mean, with the amount of things that are being used from it, it makes sense, I guess, but I don't know. I don't understand enough about how it works.
Yeah, yeah. Like it sounds good in theory, but we'd have to
Yeah.
check into it.
They told me I could make money, so I put a
told me I
thing
could
in
make
my
money.
window and
Yeah.
I'm making money. It's crazy.
It's great. It's great. Awesome. Well, all right, guys. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and intro us then, and get us into our
Sounds like a plan.
topic for the day. Yes. So, welcome everyone to this episode of Almost a Podcast. I'm hosting today as Colton, and my two lads are here as always, Mike and Sean.
You're hosting as Colton, so you're not normally Colton.
I'm not normally Colton. No, it's just today. It's a very special day.
I'm usually Colton. He's usually Sean, but today
Yeah.
we're swapping.
Today we swapped
that-
out, and
that's
that's how
sweet.
it's going. Isn't it? Very, very cute, isn't it? But yeah, basically, a few episodes back, I think we did talk about it a little bit. I have never seen the full Harry Potter movie series, and I'm happy to
Crazy.
announce I have finally today finished the last movies of the Harry Potter series. And
Fucking finally, jeez.
it's
Finally, yay.
like what I think the last movie, Deathly Hallows Part 2, was 2011. So I'm 10 years late, 10 plus years
Jeez.
late.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That one
12
is
years late.
that is crazy. Honestly, 'Cause
It is
feels like
crazy,
it's-
isn't it?
Well,
It's
11.
more recent than that because I'm like, oh, Harry Potter is like a normal that's like in my childhood memories, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
2011. Like I was like, oh,
2011.
it's probably the 2017.
It's not just in your childhood memories. It's a cultural icon.
It is a
Literally,
cultural icon.
everybody knows what Harry Potter is.
Everyone knows.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Well,
yeah.
the first movie I think came out with like when I was a kid. Like I think the year I was born. Honestly, like when was the first movie? Is 97, right?
I'm not sure it was that early. I
I'll
think it
look
was
it
like
up.
2001, honestly, if I had to guess.
I was going to say 04.
Really?
But,
It might have been 04, because honestly, I think towards the end, they were pumping out movies every 1 to 2 years since like Order of the Phoenix, the fifth
Was it
movie.
Chamber of Secrets? No, Sorcerer's 2001.
2001. Okay, all right. So I was 4. All right.
So we have 2001, 2002, 2004, 2007, 2009, and then 10, 11.
Yeah, they pumped
Those
those
are Marvel
last
movies,
3
man.
movies out. Yeah, really fast.
Now,
Because they were like, okay, Daniel Craig's getting too old here. We gotta get these movies
Daniel
out.
Craig. You mean Daniel Radcliffe?
Daniel Radcliffe. Wait, what? Daniel Craig, James Bond guy. Yeah, never mind. Sorry.
James Bond's gonna
Gotta play James Bond. We got to get him out of
We gotta
here.
get
Right,
him out. But yeah, Just finished the last both of the Deathly Hollow movies. I binged today for this podcast, and
Heck yeah.
Can you please
overall-
explain how the hell you didn't watch these as a kid? Because like
I don't know. I think
That's a good question.
the crazier thing is I lived in England and I didn't watch these when I was over in England. I think when I was in England, that was 2008 time frame. So Order of the Phoenix, I think, came out while I was still living in England. And I did go see that in theaters. I watched like the first, second, and third movie. Never watched The Goblet of Fire. Then watched Order of the Phoenix in the fifth
the best one.
in the movie theaters, and never watched Harry Potter again after that for some reason. And yeah, it was kind of weird, like that I didn't watch it as a kid. I don't know, and I'm upset because, at the end of the series, by 2011, Harry is supposed to be like 15, 16, I think, which was
Yeah.
like our age. So it's
Right.
like
Yeah.
the most
cool
relatable
thing about
thing.
it is they were like timed as the kid aged, right?
Yeah, it's like we were growing up. We could have like you guys
It was
watched
the
it as it
perfect
came
movie
out.
to identify with
Exactly.
the main character.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of mad watching this back and being like, man, I can't relate as much. I can't.
yeah, you can't
grow
go
up
back
with
10
Harry.
years. You can't go back
Yeah,
10 years
yeah.
and literally grow up with him, right? Because you're 26 now, right? And
Yes,
so
yeah.
you
So
literally
it's-
would have grown up with him.
I
like,
would have
almost
grown up
identically
with
aged.
Harry, Ron, and Hermione.
Yeah.
you
Well,
know?
I guess.
Yeah.
What?
It's like the original parasocial
Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah, I know exactly.
I went to Hogwarts.
I
Uh-huh.
know this school. I know this school. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
I don't- But yeah. All right. So we need to hear your thoughts on this.
yeah. So overall, definitely great series. I was like trying to give the movies ratings, I guess, in my head, and I'm like basically rating. It's kind of hard. I'm rating the series as a whole.
Wait, hold on. Over
go
what
ahead.
time frame did you rewatch all of these?
Oh,
right?
okay.
A week, a month?
It was probably in the frame of a month, I think.
Okay.
I watched the last two movies today. I think I got through Half-Blood Prince a week ago, and yeah, it's like before the Half-Blood Prince, I watched the other 5 movies within a 2 to 3 week span. So it was about a month time frame that I watched all of them.
Pretty compressed, right? You like enough for you to have recent memory of everything.
Yeah, I have a pretty
I'd
good
hope.
picture of like all the movies, what I thought. Like I have personal favorites for sure, of what I liked, and like certain things of what I didn't like of other different movies and such. But I was curious before I revealed my favorite movies, what your guys' favorites were as well, and kind of why. Because have you both read the books?
Yeah. Well, I have.
I
Okay.
have read up to I think 5.
To
And then
5? Okay.
I just stopped. I don't know why I did. Like I own all of them. I've gotten gifted from my grandmother because she loved the series, which is funny,
Okay.
right? Because it's my grandmother. She's 50 years older than I am.
She's
and
she's
she's like,
an
"Oh my
older
god,
one,
I
yeah.
love yeah." And
love
so
Harry
she,
Potter.
she gifted them to me. But
Yeah.
I had read up to 5, and I think it may have just been me. I fell out of like reading them, and yeah. But
I
they were great
read
books.
them all once, and then I read Deathly Hollows 3 times.
Really,
Is Deathly Hollows
That
your
good?
favorite book then?
Of the books, probably. Well, there's another one that would be tied, but I need to reread it. Like I only read the series once,
Yeah.
and that was, a decade
It was
ago.
it was a while back. Yeah. Yeah.
And then the Deathly Hollows 3 times over the course of probably that decade.
I can see someone rereading Deathly Hollows. I mean, like it's the end of the series. I after watching the whole series, I gotta say it makes you want to read the books because it gave me just enough to be like, wow, I feel like I understand the world and I got a lot out of it. But you
Yeah.
kind of are like with a lot of books. I mean, I'm not a big book reader, but a big feeling I got when reading a series was like, oh man, I wish I had more. Like these
Yeah.
are like you had a lot
There's
of lore
definitely
and detail.
more in the books,
Yeah, and that's
but Harry Potter does the books to movies better than any other book-based movie.
Yeah, I think every
really
movie.
even better than Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
I haven't read Lord of the Rings, so I cannot comment. But I would say then, if not the best, then one of the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that every movie is at least a good movie. I think that's my personal opinion on it. It's like,
I agree.
Some movies are 7 out of 10s, some movies are 8 out of 10s or higher, but all of them were at the very least good. So that was
Good.
impressive. I thought to be super consistent across that whole 10-year span or whatnot of when the movie's released.
Yeah. My favorite book and favorite movie corresponds, right? Just because the stories are so intertwined for me, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's still just the same story, right?
Yeah.
But I can say that now, unless you wanted to have another point first.
No,
Well,
I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm
let's
interested.
hear Colton's top. Like, I want to hear
Well,
your
he
top
wants to hear
3
ours
movies.
first.
Oh, you
right?
do? Okay.
Yeah, I want to hear your guys'
Okay.
guys' favorite movies, and then I'll go into mine and why I think mine are like go over why for my favorites and stuff.
Well, mine is the Goblet of Fire.
Okay.
And the Deathly Hollows. Probably part 1, part 2. They're both really good. So if I had to
Okay.
do the top 3 movies, it would be Goblet of Fire and then the 2 Deathly Hollows.
Interesting. Okay.
And I'd probably do the same for the books, right? My favorite
Okay.
book was the Goblet of Fire, and the
Yeah.
favorite book
Yeah.
as well was Deathly
Interesting.
Hollows.
Because
Yeah.
I
Well,
love.
and Half-Blood Prince, that was really good.
Yeah.
It's tough.
For me, I'd say I love actually Prisoner of Azkaban. That I remember that. I feel like I read that book
Serious
twice
Black
because
fan.
I just liked. I don't know what it was. Maybe because it was the first time where Harry Potter got actually darker. Like
Yeah.
Sorcerer's Stone, fairly lighthearted, especially movie
Pretty
wise.
lighthearted,
Yeah,
Right.
very kids movie, you know?
You have the Chamber of Secrets got a little bit darker, and you can even tell from like the how the movie displayed everything. Mm-hmm. Right, the visual color grading and stuff like that was a little bit darker.
Was it?
But Prisoner of
was it Chamber of
Azkaban,
Secrets or Prisoner of Azkaban where they flew the car into the tree? Was that? Which one was that?
Chamber of
Oh,
Secrets.
that was Chamber of Secrets. Yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's good. But and then I think Deathly Hallows Part 1, Part 2. I'm like,
Really?
but Part
Okay.
1, yeah.
Interesting. That's interesting to me
Half
because
of Prince is
yours?
pretty good too.
yeah, for me, okay, my favorite movies by far solidly are probably Half-Blood Prince is my favorite, and then I would say Order of the Phoenix is my second favorite. I think those are two solid like my favorite movies for sure.
Yeah. I like how
from-
we all have Order of the Phoenix on there. We just know that it's like that's high quality.
I just thought it was cool.
Wait, I didn't say that though.
Yeah, I don't think Sean said
I thought you
that.
said Order of the Phoenix.
No, I said Goblet of Fire and then the Deathly Hollows were the 2 ones. I also did honestly, going from movie 4, I like the series way much better.
Did you? Okay. Yeah.
Way much better? What kind of English is that? I thoroughly enjoyed movies 4 and onward, and books 4 and onward.
Yeah, there's a huge like very
But I have
diff-
favorite things from every movie.
Yeah, there's very big changes that happen in 4. I mean, 4 is like a really important movie. I would say,
He's back.
yeah, my
Yeah, I was
least.
thinking the exact same thing.
he's here. He's
So
back.
good.
No,
It
my
took 4
it
books.
did. It did
Yeah.
to like actually
the
get
main
like
big
the
bad to
full-
come back.
Yeah.
Well,
The-
wasn't that that was Order of the Phoenix, right? What
Goblet of
5,
Fire.
when he
Voldemort.
says he's
End
back?
of Goblet of Fire. He's back.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah,
sure.
but he's back.
Oh,
but
but the Fudge says it in
Fudge
5, I
says
think.
it at the very
Yeah.
end of.
What a
Goblet-
good battle that was between Dumbledore
That's-
and that
yeah.
was such a good.
That's what I liked about that. I was like, I got to see wizards actually kind of going at it, which I didn't really get in the first 4 films.
You never get it. It's like, oh yes, back forth, back, but then you have 2 like master wizards going at it.
Yeah.
Whole
And-
nother ball game.
And there's a
Yeah.
certain like campiness to it, and then all of a sudden you get to, boom, where
Yeah.
like actually there's death on the line, right?
right.
Yeah.
Because like
Yeah.
in
It
the
definitely
first
got
two,
real right there.
in the first 2, I felt like, okay, oh, wizards battling. It's like the dueling, right? It's like, oh, someone gets I forget the spell name, but like where they
They're
get
like
frozen in place.
Spelliamising, and that's like, oh my
Yeah,
god,
they
you
launch the
disarmed
wand.
him.
It's like, oh yeah, and now it's like, oh, these guys, if one of them loses, they fucking die. Or
I think to me, it's very much a difference between, especially when they're teaching, like spell fighting or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
spellcraft.
In school, it's very much to me the difference between fencing, right, and or an exhibition match, you know, in knights times versus on the battlefield and in war.
Yeah,
So many of the rules go out the window. You're
Yeah.
just trying to survive. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you do things that would be considered dirty, in like an
Yeah.
exhibition or fencing match.
Because you have
right?
to.
You just
Because you
wanna,
have to.
you're trying to live. Trying to kill,
Exactly,
and
yeah.
you're trying to. It's a real fight here. Yeah.
Fighting for my life over here.
Yeah. So, but the interesting thing to me, from your guys' responses, is to me, my least favorite movies, and again, not saying they're bad, just the movies that I didn't enjoy as much, was interestingly enough, it was Goblet of Fire. I thought I was gonna really like it,
Really?
and it came out kind of towards the bottom.
Really?
And the Deathly Hallows Part 1 was...
Wow.
I really liked Deathly Hallows Part 2. And Deathly Hallows Part 1 just really fell flat for me, I guess. And I'll go over why, I guess, for
Yeah,
these.
I'm
'cause
very curious
there's a very
to see
similar
why, because
theme.
that definitely, especially Deathly Hallows, and I think it was Order of the Phoenix, had some of the widely thought to be sadder moments,
Yeah. Yeah.
like with the death of Dobby. and
Dobby's
then,
death, yep.
And which I
And
was
Sirius
like,
Black.
"Eh,
Yeah.
Yeah, Sirius Black.
that's true.
Dying.
He fell through the portal into nothingness. But who's the other? The bird.
Oh, the owl in the beginning
The owl.
of Deathly Owls, or Deathly Hallows.
Deathly
Deathly
Owls.
Owls.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that
that
was
wasn't
pretty sad.
in number one. We had two of the animal. I guess Dobby's not an animal, but like sidekick creatures died.
And
Which-
they were huge.
To me, sucked. I
Yeah.
hated that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll say,
Kill
like...
people.
the
all you
bird, the
want.
bird hit me a lot
Yeah.
harder than Dobby did. But
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Kill
mean,
people
Dobby's
all
like,
you
whatever.
want, but don't kill
even though
animals.
I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
What is the bird's name? What's the owl's name?
I have no idea what
Hedwig.
the owl's name is.
Hedwig.
Hedwig? Oh.
Dang.
Yeah. Man, oh man. But yeah, Deathly Hallows specifically, I think... Well, okay. Both of the movies, in my opinion, I felt like I was missing something, if that makes sense. I felt that the context of what was going on in both Goblet of Fire and Deathly Hallows Part 1 was like, it was really good for book readers because they knew exactly what was going on, what was happening. But for me, there was a lot of things just kind of thrown out there, just like, hey, this happened. We got to go do this. And I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa,
It
wait
just-
a minute.
You felt like it wasn't
will
translated
say-
well?
It
Well,
was just
I
like,
will say, with Deathly Hallows specifically, right?
yeah.
The book is so big in comparison to every other book in the series that it was a lot harder to convert it into a movie outside looking in. And that's why they had to
Yeah.
do 2 parts, because I think it's twice as big as any other book. Mm-hmm. Maybe not
And
as
I'm not-
massive. Maybe
I'm not surprised
maybe
with that.
Half-Blood Prince or Phoenix were also pretty big, but it was a lot bigger.
It's funny
Right.
how much bigger each book, because I used to have them when I was at my mom's.
Sorcerer's
as a
Stone
kid,
is
right?
tiny.
Right? Yeah, but at my mom's place, I had like in the closet, I had a, your clothes rack, and then it was like a fold out type closet, right? Just no fancy walk in or shit like that. But it had a shelf on the top, and that's where I kept all my books. I always had the full collection of Harry Potter there, right? Since since
Everyone's like,
teenager.
you're such a big
once-
fan, aren't you?
Yeah, but always there, and you always see Sorcerer's Stone. It's tiny, and then as it gets progressively bigger, and the books get taller too, right? So it's like almost like raising the bar.
Yeah.
And they thickify.
It reminds me a lot of, I had the Game of Thrones too, and you have like Game of Thrones itself is fairly small, and you have Dance with Dragons, which is absolutely massive.
So I just looked up the word counts on all the books,
Oh,
and I
okay.
am actually surprised on it. Sorcerer's Stone, 76,000 words,
Okay.
which is this is the shortest. Mm-hmm. Chamber of Secrets, 85,000. Azkaban, 107,000. Goblet of Fire is 190,000.
Whoa, that's
So
huge,
easily-
huge jump.
Easily double and a half Sorcerer's Stone. Order of the Phoenix, which is actually the largest by word count,
Huh.
is 25,000 words. No, sorry, 257,000 words.
Wow.
250,000. Yeah, that's a huge, huge book.
Then Half-Blood Prince is 168,000, and Deathly Hallows is 198,000. So Deathly Hallows is the second largest book by words, Order of the Phoenix being the first, followed by Goblet of Fire, then Half-Blood Prince, and then the rest. So
It's interesting. Okay.
Very interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, I know in Deathly Hallows Part 1, there was just stuff going on, and I'm just like, I think, and I know, like, I get it. I'm not, like, discrediting really the movie, and all the movies kind of had it to a degree where it's like, hey, this happened, we got to go do this, or this is just how this is, so we have to do this, because they just don't have the time to explain all the context. You just kind of have to roll with it. But I thought that a lot, like, you know, the other movies dealt with that context better, or maybe just better at manipulating what was left out, so the story flowed a little bit better, in my opinion, for the movies. But I mean, yeah, like Goblet of Fire, of all the movies, I felt like that happened the most, where all this stuff was just happening, and I'm just like, oh, wait a minute.
It was a lot of stuff, right? The
Yeah.
4 different events.
Yeah.
I mean, all of it was very back and forth, right?
Yeah. And I mean, it's like a huge.
It was definitely
book.
condensed.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge movie, because it's like it's when Voldemort comes back, and that sets up the entire series.
Yeah.
Like
Rest
hugely.
of the show. Rest of
Yeah.
the seasons.
Yeah.
Jeez. Rest of the movie.
Rest
I
of the
mostly
day.
just remember Goblet of Fire because you're like, oh, Emma Watson in a very nice dress. Wow, she
Oh.
looks gorgeous.
Of course, of course. Yeah.
See that? Okay. Well, okay. Bringing that up, right? Emma Watson, definitely crush on at the time, right? Like,
That's
Oh,
like
absolutely.
a huge crush at the time.
Right.
For sure. For sure.
but I never remember the dress part, right? That's not
that's
to me
exactly
like
what I
the part
remember.
that sticks out for me about being like, oh, that is attractive, right? It's in the later, I think, Deathly Hallows 1, with the purple sweatshirt, like running around in that. That's where I'm like, wow, why is she so attractive in this movie?
yeah, there are two types of men. Like,
Yep. I don't know, man. I'm usually the one who goes for tomboys and like people who are like, you look great in casual clothes. Yes, but I don't know. I just always remember the the scene where they're going to the ball, right? And it's Harry and
Yeah, the
Ron.
ball.
They've already got their dates because Harry's going with
Harry-
Luna Lovegood.
Luna Love. Is it?
No, it was the other girl, Cho.
Cho, yeah. And then who's Ron going with? I forget.
Ron went with like the really annoying girl, right? That was like all over him, or is it a different girl?
That sounds about right.
I can't remember who Ron
and then
went.
obviously Hermione went with the one main dude from the rival
The other school.
Other school, yeah.
Yes, went with
I-
that. Oh, that was a
Brom-
whole
Victor
thing.
or something like that.
strong
I
sounding
Totally
Yeah.
forgot. They like introduced that there's a world outside of Hogwarts in Goblet of Fire, which was really
Yeah.
cool too. They're like, hey, like these countries have.
Yeah, it's the first time you think, oh wait, yeah, there's a whole other world out there.
Yeah, that's like a whole like it's
not
all
just
over
London.
the world. Yeah, that was cool too. Yeah,
Which is actually cool because in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, it takes place mainly in the American Wizarding Agency.
interesting.
All right, what were your thoughts on those movies? Because I've seen the first two of them. I did not see the most recent one.
I like them. I like them all. But they're. I just like it because you get to explore more of the universe
Yeah.
of Harry Potter.
And like in the past, right?
And in the past, right? Because it takes place before Harry Potter.
Because I think Harry Potter takes place in the 1960s, 70s? Or is it
Oh, I
newer
think
than
it's newer than that.
You think it's 90s or something like that?
That's kind of what I thought. I thought it was like
I thought it took place
in the
when it
90s.
aired, right?
Yeah, like
Oh, really?
2001 to
Why
whenever.
don't they have cell phones, though?
Or maybe even a little bit earlier. Well, they don't have
guess-
cell phones because they're wizards. They don't believe in Muggle
I was gonna say,
technology.
like, do they not believe in the technology? I don't know.
Well, I have something I was going to ask you guys
Okay.
about the Harry Potter, which maybe a slight departure from what we were going on about, but it was, what are your favorite scenes across all the movies?
Okay.
And those can be for good or bad reasons, right? So,
Yeah.
like, I would have a favorite scene that made me depressed, right? But that's to me a good scene because I
Yeah.
was able to elicit that reaction.
It means you felt
Yeah.
emotions.
Yeah. So Colton, if you're fresh off of this, I don't know if you have some favorite
Oh
scenes.
man, favorite scenes. I really still liked the whole ending of Half-Blood Prince where Snape kills Dumbledore. I thought that was really
Yeah.
good. I thought that whole conflict in general, I really enjoyed that whole plot in general, and having it come to a head like that, where Malfoy's like kind of trying to get the courage to do it, and then Snape just comes in and is like, "Yeah, you're done. Bye." That was cool. Or I just enjoyed that conclusion. What other scenes did I really like? I like the Order of the Phoenix ending wizard fight a lot. I thought that was like a good showcase of some real good magic. And then, honestly, Prisoner of Azkaban's whole like last fifth of the movie where they go back in time. I've always loved that concept was really cool to me.
Yeah,
and I loved how they
did a good job.
foreshadowed the whole thing by being extremely obvious by like Hermione just like randomly shows up in scenes, and I'm just like, okay, this has to like
Something's
mean
going on
something. I'm like, there is definitely something here.
Yeah.
I think as far as like I'm trying to like think of like smaller like little scenes, like little things.
Yeah.
Where like not big moments, but you guys
I'll
can
give you some examples of mine.
yeah, go ahead and share yours.
I love the night bus scene.
Yes.
Prisoner of
that whole
Azkaban?
sequence.
I don't remember what movie it was, but
was
he
Prisoner
gets
of
picked
Azkaban.
up in the night bus, and they're all like whizzing through the streets.
Yeah.
That whole thing, and the head, the talking head. Ah, so funny. That I really liked the scenes where he drank liquid luck.
Oh yeah.
Right, and I think that was in Half Blood Prince.
I think that was Half-Blood Prince,
Or-
yeah. Liquid Luck was
yeah.
the Half-Blood Prince. Oh,
I
when he
thought
starts
that was
going
the
nuts, he
funniest
gets like
thing.
really, really like energetic and stuff.
Yeah, he's like, it's like, remember, we got to do this. And he just goes, I'm going to go to Hagrid's right now.
Yeah, he's like,
what do you
I'm
mean?
out.
Like, it just feels
I'm
like
gone.
the right thing to do.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I loved that. It was so funny. Such
Yeah.
a good, weird, just magic thing. You know?
Yeah.
And then I liked a lot of the scenes in Order of the Phoenix where, because you do a lot of the magical creature stuff there, which you don't normally get in a lot of the movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like the dragon stuff was so cool.
Oh yeah.
Anything with the Nimbus, when it's like, oh yeah, I'm flying really cool. That was
Yeah.
really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
I
is
also
cool.
love the Hall of Mysteries, like just them walking through that. I remember that a lot with like the
Yeah.
different globes and stuff with the I think there were like prophecies on there.
Yeah.
I love the giant room with all the stuff in the room of requirement. Like that was awesome.
Yeah.
The stuff is that what
Yeah.
what is that room again? That's the one
The
where
room of requirement that is like if you need to get rid of something or store it away, it just makes that room of this junk room.
Is that
It
where
has all this
the-
crazy stuff in?
is that where the tiara Horcrux was that they destroyed? Is that the same
Yeah.
spot? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Also, where they snuck into the castle from because it had the
Yeah.
chest, the wardrobe that connected a place in Diagon Alley.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
stuff like that.
Another scene that stepped up to me when I don't remember his name, but when the one wizard in Goblet of Fire was showing them the 3 forbidden curses. It was like the torture curse. Was it a torture
Yeah,
curse?
Cruciatus.
Yeah.
Cruciatus, Avada Kedavra, and I'm trying to remember the third one.
I think it was Crucio.
Yeah, Cruciatus.
Yeah. But yeah, like
No, not Otis. There's no Otis.
The Cruciatus curse.
It's Crucio.
Crucio curse.
I'm
I
gonna
don't
look it
know.
up. And
They
I
say-
could
they
be,
say
I could be wrong,
things-
but I'm
Sean wants to be
pretty
right.
sure.
They say things to me and
Cruciatus.
I'm like, like
It's Cruciatus,
that's
and then there's
that's a
one.
thing.
I forget the other curse.
Yeah, tell
Oh,
us
you're right. It is the Cruciatus. I've never heard them
Son of
say
a
it that
bitch.
way. Imperious.
Imperious, that's the other
And-
one, yeah. And Avada Kedavra.
And
Killing
Avada
curse.
Kedavra, yeah.
Avada Kedavra. It's like I keep thinking they say like Acrocababra or something like that.
Yeah, Abracadabra.
Abracadabra.
Yeah.
But that's
I
not
think
it.
literally though that's what it's based off of. You know.
Yeah. But like that was
I-
like that was when
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you can just like kill someone with like a simple flick of your wand if you wanted.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
That was like kind of real.
And
To
it's
me, the
unblockable.
other-
Like what kind of dumb spell is that?
okay.
Right?
Yeah.
That's like something
OP.
else I would talk about. Maybe we could
That's
talk about it.
that's a cheat, right?
Yeah, I'm like, why are people not using that? If I was Harry in some of these scenarios, I'd be whipping that out like all the time, taking out some people instead of running.
It's like the worst spells are the easiest to cast.
I
right?
know.
And the best spells are in terms of like goodness value are the hardest to cast.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like Expecto Patronum. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's like
yeah,
you have to be
actually,
like the
though.
right mindset. You have to be
Yeah.
like one
Yeah,
with
yeah.
yourself, and you have to cast this, and all it does is like prevent people from like coming after you. But that was a good scene too. The stag Patronus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where he's in the lake with all the Dementors and everything.
Yep.
Yeah,
And then the
good.
other one that comes to mind is Goblet of Fire, Cedric Diggory's death. That one,
Oh,
I was
yeah,
like,
that was pretty brutal.
oh.
That was
Because
pretty
like everyone's
brutal.
like, all right, Cedric Diggory, he's a cool guy, right? You kind of think he's a douchebag at the beginning, and then he's like, oh, he's actually just a cool dude, and then just immediately gets fucking, murdered.
Yeah.
Stomped.
By
Yeah.
whatever the rat dude is. But
Yeah. Said no.
I don't
Peter
even care.
Pettigrew.
Yes, whatever his fucking name
His
is.
rat. Yeah, the rat guy.
I don't
yeah.
care. He's rat guy. He's rat guy to me. He will always be rat guy.
He is a rat guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. In that moment, I like that scene. Well, I wouldn't say like that. I was just like, oh fuck, like this is emotional
Yeah.
because it's the first time like we've really seen someone like die on camera
Yeah.
Yeah.
in Harry Potter,
Harry
right?
Potter for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For that, we
death-
had like the Dementors, but this
Yeah.
is
This is like a
actual
real
death.
person, a character that was introduced, got
And you're like,
offed.
oh, this is real now, right? It's like Game of Thrones after spoiler alert, Ned Stark's death, but
Yeah. That's pretty early on.
yeah, but you're like, oh, this is
Whoops.
real now.
Yeah.
People can die now.
Anyone
Which I
can
thought
die.
was crazy, right? In the final movies, right? You got people dying left and
It's
right.
literally
you
like
know?
a graveyard. Yeah. People are
And I
getting
think-
wrecked.
What I had read at some point was Rowling's commentary on just war in general and how it's messy. You're not going to have all the good people alive at the end. You know, there's going to be
Yeah.
losses on both sides. And that, I think, was what I had read is that was her intent with it. Because you lose a lot of people that you really liked,
Yeah,
throughout the
yeah.
whole show
Yeah.
or
And
movie.
it was interesting seeing the transition because in a way, I really liked the simplicity, childish charm of the first three movies where I didn't really have any fear for a lot of people. Like they were just kind of, it was like exploring the world, wizardry, like weird things happened, but they always kind of got through it. And then to them to transition to Deathly Hallows stuff where it's like the charm is going down because people are all just like dying and it's a lot more about
Yeah.
survival and less of, it changes a lot. And it's
Yeah,
like,
there's more
I-
grayness.
yeah,
Well,
I
it's
just
definitely overarching the growing up.
Yeah,
Losing
yeah.
your childhood innocence
yeah.
and
Yeah.
seeing how much gray there are
Yeah.
still is in the world.
It was good. I liked both sides because like usually I kind of like the more gray area, more really gray, people dying, but Harry Potter was like so. I don't know. Maybe it's because I watched it as a kid. It was like very innocent, so it's kind of like a little safe space where you don't have to worry about these like all the death and stuff. So seeing
Yeah.
it turn into Deathly Hallows, I was like, oh man.
Yeah. You don't have to
A
worry
little
about
depressing.
people being people in the gray morality of the real world.
I
where-
think growing up though, it was perfectly timed for me.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it probably was. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the whole thing, right? Is Rowling designed that because it grew with her audience. As like
Yeah.
starting out, he's like, I want the good versus evil. Hero wins. There's some sacrifice, but for the most part, it's good versus evil. And now it's like, all right, this is actually like, brutal.
There are
in the Deathly
consequences.
Hallows. Yeah, and there's
Yeah. Really
consequences
brutal.
to your actions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The story of
I
the
also
Deathly
really like the
Hallows-
shield scene, where they cast a shield over Hogwarts.
Oh, that was
so
cool. That was pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah, I have. Are you guys, Mike, did you go over like the scenes that you really liked? Cuz I have another thing I wanted to ask.
I had another question as well.
You had a question? All right, you want to go?
Well, like a group question, but I want to hear what yours
Well,
was.
for me, I had questions, all right? So I wanted like some question time cuz there are some things
Okay. Well,
that-
I had another one, like general opinion of then.
you go first, Sean, and then we can close out with lore
Yeah.
questions.
My other thing was, who was your least favorite character? And by favorite character, I mean, who did you hate the most?
I honestly, for me, I think it's pretty easy. I think Malfoy was my least favorite character of all. of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he was such a weenie, and even when it came down, like he had a huge role in Half-Blood Prince, and when it came down to it, he was such a wimp and couldn't do it. I'm glad I'm glad he didn't go after and actually kill Dumbledore, but at the same time, it's like he's always like, oh, yo, I got my bros, I got this wand. I was like, punk Harry
I'm so
Potter,
cool.
Come on, man. And then
I'm classic
whenever,
bully, right?
whenever like Ron or Hermione comes out and like throws a little spell at him, he's just like, oh, I'm out. See you later. Like he never
Yeah.
like stands his ground, and I think he's such a weenie, and he causes so many issues. I feel like throughout the whole series.
because he's so full of himself, yet he
Yeah,
has
like-
actually no confidence and no skill.
Yeah, I just feel like he's a weenie, and he really screws some stuff up at the same time. So, yeah, he's probably my least favorite.
What about you, Mike?
It's gonna be weird to say.
It's between
I
two
don't,
for me.
I don't like Jenny, honestly.
Really? Why are you? Okay, keep going. Keep going.
Who's Jenny? Wait,
I just found her really fucking
Ron's
boring.
sister.
Ron's sister and
Oh, the
Harry's
one that-
love interest.
Yeah,
At the end of
okay.
it, right? I just found her really boring. I'm
She
like,
definitely felt shoehorned in, right?
Exactly.
You know,
I'm like,
the
I'm bored.
obvious love interest was Hermione, right? But then
Yeah.
something happened.
yeah.
They're like, I can't- I
okay,
can't do that.
I did like Ron and Hermione. That was kind of sweet.
I think
But-
they worked out. Yeah.
No, I thought that was
No,
kind of sweet.
I agree. I think they worked out.
Yeah, I like that. But for me, I just felt like Jenny was shoehorned in, and I'm like, okay, cool, it's cool.
Yeah.
And like I like redheads too, and I'm like, oh, she's cute, but like I just found her character very underwhelming,
bland.
and
Yeah.
she's pushed into the story versus developed naturally. Like
That's
Have-
true, and that's why I
have
think
it
she
be
feels
like
bland,
maybe
you know?
maybe there was I think if it would have been better if say maybe during the whole ball scene in Goblet of Fire, maybe Jenny and Harry were giving each other looks or something like that, so there's like this developed attraction between the two, and then as time progresses they ended up going toward that, right?
Yeah,
Versus
yeah.
like you gotta show some foreshadowing
Show
to that
some-
versus just them being like boom done. I just felt like it was boring, honestly.
Yeah. I always thought that was like a book thing. Like the book may have developed that more, but maybe in the movie they just were like, oh, okay, here's the love interest, and maybe that
Yeah.
was
To be fair, I only got to 5 in the books.
The books
but
did develop it more. This is
Okay.
true, but still not very well.
not
overall.
okay.
You got to have like
Interesting.
foreshadowing and like have like there's an attraction between the two starting off, and there just wasn't that in the movies nor the books
Yeah,
for
yeah.
like the first 5 books or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. You guys' answer is really surprising. Well, Colton's, I got. To me, the two people who I hate the most in this whole thing
yeah.
are either, and the gut instincts is Bellatrix Lestrange.
Well, she's a good character, but I hate her. Yeah.
Who is this? Is
Well,
this the?
that's what I'm saying. I'm not hating the character itself. I'm saying the written character. Like, if I were in the universe, who would I hate the most? And this would be Bellatrix, right? It wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Is that the dark
and
curly haired
Bellatrix
girl?
or Malfoy?
Yeah.
The one who
Or
killed
Lucius
Sirius?
No,
Malfoy.
the other one is the girl, the
Oh,
ministry girl,
yes.
the pink one.
I fucking hate her. I
What's
totally
her
forgot
name?
about her. Starts with the D. It's
The pink haired girl?
she's
No,
the one who
pink.
always has pink, and like she's the ministry
Very-
person.
Oh,
who
it's
replaces
the
Dumbledore.
one that takes over in Order of the Phoenix.
Pink
Oh,
lady.
fucking hate
Umbridge.
her.
Yeah,
Umbridge.
she's-
Thank you.
she was
Dolores
pretty-
Umbridge.
Umbridge.
She was pretty insufferable.
See, and I think I hate them both for different reasons, right? She's insufferable. She's evil, right? Dolores Umbridge is
legitimately
evil.
evil. Yeah.
She's
And
she's
and
also
working within the system, right?
yeah. She's also evil because like that is like
Because
the
she
most
enjoys people.
yeah.
Like
and that's the most
her and
like true
Bellatrix
to
are almost the same character, right?
yeah.
Except one literally kills people and one just straight up torments them. They
Yeah,
both
and
torment people.
Also, I feel like
Gosh.
Dolores Umbridge is more common. Like in the real world, I can see it.
Yeah.
I've met
I think
Dolores
that's why she
Umbridges,
was
right? I
worse
haven't
in a
met
way
a
because
Bellatrix.
you know a Dolores, right?
Yes.
Everyone knows a Dolores. Bellatrix, they're just criminal, right? It's a
Yeah.
little more removed, but yeah, those two characters are just the worst.
those are good
Hate
ones.
them. Like
Yeah.
I growing up, reading the books, watching the movies is just this visceral hate that I experienced
Yeah.
towards both these
Well,
people.
that was the whole point, right?
Especially
Is-
Bellatrix when she was like torturing Hermione, that was even worse for me.
Yeah, that was a little rough.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like
I feel like Dolores is worse on my list. Than
Dolores was like
Bellatrix.
torturing kids, which is like
Yeah,
just
and
so
enjoying
messed
it.
up. Yeah, she's like, oh
and,
yes,
and she no. And the worst part is she feels like she's a good person for doing it.
yeah,
Versus
Yeah.
super
Bellatrix,
messed up.
she knew she's fucked up, right? But
She's just insane, right?
yeah, she's just insane.
Yeah,
right?
she's
Whereas
crazy
Dolores
girl.
feels like
Umbridge,
she
right,
is.
is
I'm being a
sane
good
and
person.
doing this.
I'm being a good person for torturing these fucking kids. That is
right. I'm
like
teaching them a lesson.
yeah,
exactly.
it's
And you're like,
not it.
yeah, I know this person in real life, and
Man,
they're terrifying.
I'm like, I remember just being like shaking with anger in the
Yeah.
movie theater.
There's
you're
a
like, oh.
visceral reaction. Yeah.
She is so unlikable, though. I think the actor did a good job with her. She
Yeah,
really,
amazing
it
job
really
as an
came
actor.
across with the unlikableness. You really don't like her exiting that theater.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
Good
man.
stuff.
But those. Yeah, I think it's really tied between them. Every other character, even Voldemort, is like, you know,
it's like Voldemort.
Yeah. No, Dolores Umbridge is worse than Voldemort, hands down.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think I'd probably agree with that.
Here's
Yeah.
okay. So is Voldemort more fleshed out in the books? Because from the movies, I get the perspective that he's a very powerful wizard, has some bad intentions, and then kind of just goes a little bit off the wall, tries to like overthrow stuff. But I don't
You
really.
get a bit more of the history in the books, but not too much more.
Okay, is he just kind of supposed to be this like kind of black evil guy? He's like the main like. There's not really much more
He's the Sauron.
to it.
He's very 2D character.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. Gotcha.
He just had a terrible childhood, and no one loved him, and then he just started killing people. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
and
And
he's
then
a
is there-
really good wizard, and he's like, oh, becomes a
Yeah, he
supremacist.
He all of a sudden he got really lucky, and his magical powers is high.
Yeah.
And
Okay. So there's no like backstory behind like how he's really powerful. He's just like kind of gifted and he takes
he's
a
just
wrong
gifted,
path.
like Harry Potter. You know,
Yeah.
he's just a gifted kid.
yeah.
He has talent. He has natural
yeah.
talent.
Yeah, natural talent. Okay. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so I want to ask a couple lore questions then on the
Okay.
Harry Potter. So one thing that I didn't really understand, this is like Deathly Hallows, and I read up a little bit on it, but it was basically, you know when Voldemort's like, all right, Harry, come out, I gotta kill you, and then this is after he gets the vision, he's like, okay, I have to die because I'm like basically a Horcrux. I have his soul in me. I have to die to kill Voldemort.
Right. Right.
So Voldemort uses the killing curse and uses it on Harry, but he lives. He like goes through this like trance where Dumbledore's like, you have a choice. You can either live or die. Harry
Yeah.
chooses to live. I'm confused as to how does that work? Because like, how does Harry get to live after getting
I
cursed
think everyone's
twice?
confused on how that works.
Okay, because I was like,
It's magic, Colton.
Yeah,
I like-
it's plot armor.
I
That's
read
really what it
well.
is.
See, that was like such a weird thing. It's like, well, this is like very defined as you die if you get hit. But Voldemort didn't kill Harry. He killed like the part of Harry that's in him, which then
Right.
allowed Harry to come back and kill Voldemort. And like the little bit that I was reading, it was like really convoluted. But they're like, Harry had his mother's blessing, and the wand was not actually Voldemort. So when Voldemort commanded to kill Harry, the spell went to like Voldemort's soul inside him instead of Harry, because Harry was actually the owner of the wand. So that's how that.
I'm sure that there's this crazy, super specific lore reason as to why
Okay.
that happened.
Yeah.
Right? Which
Yeah.
is probably what you read.
Yeah.
But I mean, even reading the book or watching the movie, none of it's actually explained.
Oh,
you know?
interesting. Okay.
It's
okay.
just kind of the whole, it's the power of love, you know?
the power of
That's
love.
exactly- yeah,
the
power of friendship.
Okay, I didn't know that. I thought that was like something that would have been really like detailed in the book
Yeah.
instead of just
Now-
like Voldemort being like, "What the hell? Like you not dead again?"
The theory I like the most is actually the Neville theory. Have you guys heard this one?
The Neville theory.
Well, Neville. What I know is that Neville is equally as likely to be the chosen one as Harry Potter.
Yep.
Oh,
And I
really?
think it would
Like
actually
he
kind of
fits
cool
the
if
exact
that,
same circumstances.
if
in the
he
prophecy.
died. Imagine if Harry
Oh.
died and then Neville is the main character and he's the one who is the chosen one, and in a way he does, right? He kills the
last Horcrux.
serpent.
Yeah, he takes the sword out. you
Yep.
know.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
But-
didn't know that. I knew that there was like two babies or two things that could have been aligned with the prophecy. I didn't know Neville was the other half.
Yeah,
of
it
that.
was Neville. Was
That's
the other
hilarious,
person who could've
actually.
fit that.
That's really funny.
Because what was the qualifications, right? It was a long-standing house, which the Longbottoms were a very long-standing house, and whose parents were killed, right?
Right.
Same thing.
And Scar,
I think-
the scar, right? And I think Neville has a scar too.
Well, I mean-
I'm not- this is I'm a little fuzzy on this one, but I think he's also got a scar, but like like on his body, like not visible, like the freaking lightning bolt.
I thought Voldemort went and killed, like, knew the prophecy. There was 2 children, and then Voldemort just went and went to go kill one of the children.
So
Yeah.
the prophecy was, the one with the power to vanquish the Dark Lord approaches, born to those who have thrice defied him, born as the 7th month dies, and the Dark Lord will mark him as his equal. So it has to be marked in some way.
Okay.
He will have the power of the Dark Lord, have power the Dark Lord knows not, which is super ambiguous. and either must die at the hand of the other, for none can live while the other survives. Yeah, it's super ambiguous, but it does fit 2 people, which is Neville.
Yeah,
and
that
Harry Potter.
sounds like Voldemort was like went after Harry and then like created that prophecy basically by going after Harry because some
Right.
of
Yeah.
Voldemort's soul entered into Harry because of the interaction there.
That's definitely part of the whole thing. Is
Yeah, it's a
oh
self-fulfilling
wow,
prophecy.
he created it by doing that. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah. He literally created the prophecy because he
like
actively
went to try and
against it. Yeah.
cancel it. Yeah, yeah. Interesting
Which is
stuff.
like it's like the beauty of it, right? It's like I guess the poetry of the
Yeah,
events.
one of the.
Right. Yeah. It is pretty interesting. It makes me want to like read it to get all the details because I left wanting to know more about the world and like the little
Yeah.
finer details of it.
I think that's one of my biggest takeaways from Harry Potter as a whole is I really like the universe that was built. The universe that was built right at the end, you know, because obviously Rowling has expanded upon that,
Yeah.
and some are a bit more controversial than others. However, just based
understatement.
on the movies and books, a fantastic universe, and I loved the things that are never explained. you
Oh
know?
yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they have in the Ministry of Secrets or whatever it is. There's a portal to what, the underworld.
Is there really?
That
Yeah.
Well, that's what Sirius Black falls through. Is this this
I totally missed
archway?
that.
He's like, oh, bye, Harry, and then dips in there.
Yeah, it's like the
And-
souls of people. Yeah.
Yeah, like Souls of the Damned. Like literally, no one ever comes back from that. I think that's one of the things in the book.
Oh wow.
And because it like takes your soul, something crazy, right? Oh,
Yeah.
it's just in the basement. You know, it's just there.
it's just
Like,
kind
what?
of chilling.
Oh, there's nothing,
Yeah.
no explanation. I love that.
Yeah,
Love that stuff.
The other one that
Yeah.
was interesting to me was the literal Deathly Hollows and how that was like a real story. Apparently, it's
yeah,
real.
literally death.
It's like death came
at
out.
some point.
Yeah,
was
like
cheating.
what? Where is he?
So
where is
Death
Death?
is an actual character in the universe, right?
Yeah.
He's an
Most
actual
likely.
It's like The Sims. He shows up.
Yeah, he's just kind of, hey, how you doing, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was
I-
like really interesting to know that was a real, like, it's a what is it, like a legend, but like
Yeah.
the wand was real, the cloak was real, and the stone that he had was real.
That's some of the lore specific stuff that I really love too, right? These 3 artifacts have been around for centuries, you know, millennia maybe. I don't know how long they were. Mm-hmm. And yet they're still, the fact that they're still all together and maintained down through that long, to me, is super cool and impressive, right? Mm-hmm. Especially that the cloak hasn't been torn, you know, at all.
right?
Yeah. Is that
Or the wand hasn't been snapped, or the
Until-
stone is found at some point, right?
Yeah.
And he just throws it away.
I know he like snaps. He's like, yeah, we don't want this around anymore.
Oh well, both he 2 of them, right? The stone he just drops.
Oh,
in
he
the
just
forest
drops the
somewhere.
stone. Yeah, it's in
that's
the
never gonna be
grass.
found again. And this, what kind of a moron snaps the wand, the Elder Wand? Like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
cannot believe. I was
Like,
mad when
what
I saw
are you
that.
doing? Yeah. I mean, like, it's like probably pretty dangerous. It's like, I feel like the Elder Wand is like one of those things where it kind of almost like death is knocking at your door. People are always trying to
Yeah,
take
that's
it.
the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
It's a temptation and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
It's still the most powerful one. It's a cheat. It's a hack weapon,
It's-
right?
it's-
It's a
yeah.
cheat
Yeah.
hack weapon. You have to have that.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although to be fair, it's like removing like nuclear weapons at that point, right?
He's
You're
like, yeah,
essentially
let's
getting
get
rid
it
of
out.
this OP cheat weapon, so that way
Yeah,
no one
but-
can use it.
But it's like, I have the only nuclear weapon, and if you want another one, you have to literally go talk to death, okay?
Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
I mean-
you have to cheat death literally.
yeah.
Oh, man, that was crazy.
That is crazy. I did have one more question because
Yep.
it pertains to the Half-Blood Prince, which is my favorite movie. But I want to know. So we know Snape is the Half-Blood Prince. He reveals that. I'm wondering what the heck that even means, because I never really got explained like what that meant, if that was even significant at all. And then also,
I think it's
Oh.
just this cool pseudonym he gave himself. He's
Oh,
like, I'm
yeah.
so cool.
Very
I'm the Half-Blood
Snape-worthy.
Prince.
Well,
you know?
he's the one who Potter finds the diary, right? And it's like the potions and like
yeah,
he's just
yeah. He's
really
like, this is the
good at-
property of the Half-Blood Prince. He like modifies all the recipes to make it work.
Yeah, quicker.
Yeah, yeah.
Hack
and I
book.
was just like, does that? I guess maybe it is no significance. It's just like a cool nickname. It's like, yeah,
Yeah, it's just a moniker. Yeah.
yeah.
I think so.
Oh, okay.
Because he's a muggle. He's a half-blood, right? Isn't he?
Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense. He's calling himself a prince, but he is a half-blood wizard. Okay.
Right.
So the other thing about this, in the movie, so Malfoy and Harry get into like a little fight. He like really hurts Malfoy basically, and after that, Harry, Hermione, and Ron are like, we gotta hide that book, and I'm just like, why are you hiding the potion book after this happened? Is there a real reason why that happened that you guys know of?
I don't know.
That was one of the biggest questions I had, because I was like, they're like, we gotta hide the book, and I'm like, wait a minute, why do you have to hide the book?
I think wizards are some of the stupidest people. Okay?
Well, they don't incorporate modern technology, dude. A gun would solve half the problems of this movie. It's like, oh,
It
yes,
would.
See
I
you
use
later.
gun. yeah. Boom.
But I just think that
See ya,
wizards
bitch.
as a whole are so uninventive, you know?
Well, they
That-
invent in their own realm, right? Then they invent and innovate in the realm of magic, but they don't go to outside technology. They don't deal with
But
muggle shit.
not even that though, right? I mean, even in Harry Potter, right? You never hear or very rarely hear of someone making a new spell, right?
Oh,
That's true,
okay.
yeah.
The only time it's happened was literally Snape, right? And then you have this book which can create the potions this textbook's been in existence for hundreds of years probably, right?
Right.
This book, Snape has figured out how to make potions faster, less steps, less stuff, right? Mm-hmm. He could have easily just published that and become a gazillionaire in Harry Potter. Doesn't.
It doesn't.
What the heck, right?
'Cause-
Like
yeah.
wizards just don't do things to advance them. Like
Yeah.
outside looking in, right?
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem like they're just totally fine doing the exact same things. We got our magic, we're fine, you know?
Right.
They just maintain the status quo.
Interesting.
I don't get it.
Yeah. That is interesting.
Probably because they're probably focused on maintaining the status quo because of the whole Muggle stuff, right? They're like that
don't
probably has
wanna
gone into their
advance.
culture so much that they don't go and innovate. Because they don't want to expose themselves.
Right? And I think that's one of the whole things too. I mean, you have the purebloods, right? Which are
Yeah.
we have to it's almost as if every choice that they're making is focused on just decreasing the wizard like they're going to die out, no question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of their own, ignorance or self-indulgence or whatever. Personal theory, I guess.
Yeah. Over time. Yeah.
It's kind of crazy when you have a species, with that much power, yet isn't exactly doing the right things. And maybe if that was some sort of not allegory, maybe allegory for humans as a whole. I don't know, but if Rowling had that.
Yeah,
idea.
there's like a little symbolicness in there. It's interesting in and of itself that they're still in hiding. Like you would think that wizards would rule the world or something,
Well, they did have that one scene in the movies where they were like talking with the Prime Minister of London, right, or Britain.
Oh, I don't remember that.
They're like, "Hey, yo, there's a crazy wizard on the loose. Just heads up, right?
Oh, okay. So the prime minister's like, okay, we know about
Yeah.
the magic realm. Okay.
Wizards
don't-
exist, but they're like over there."
Yeah, yeah. Nice. Okay.
They're over in
weird.
Scotland. It doesn't matter to the English.
One of my favorite characters has to be McGonagall.
Oh yeah.
Which is that the weird eye guy who teaches?
No, that's
No,
Mad-Eye Moody.
that's-
McGonagall is the Scottish professor in green robes, old woman.
Oh, she's the one that gets. Does she get let go in Order of the Phoenix?
I think she does. Yeah.
She's the one that the girl fires, and she's like, "Oh, please, no."
No, that's the prophecy girl. I think.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Prophecy Girl.
Tawny.
I don't
Six
know
of
these names,
Trelawney?
unfortunately.
You just watched them all.
Well, I know, but like, I feel like I'm missing some of these extra scenes and like the bonus content you get from the books. Because I don't know, like I know like the faces.
I don't remember these from the books. I'll be honest. It's mainly the
Oh,
the
really?
movies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Same.
Huh. Well, anyways,
No excuses, Colton.
no excuses, I guess. I'm just like, yo, wizard, go, magic spell, cool stuff happens, big explosions.
Big explosions.
I think overall, though, the whole shows, or movie, books, very well done.
Yeah,
Is that what you got, Colton? Like, I'm curious, what did you think about the whole story? I mean, you kind of said a little bit at the beginning, but
Yeah, no, absolutely. As a whole, I would say the series is great from the movies, and like I was saying, like I think at Harry Potter's worst, the movies are good, and then if not, they are great. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed it. It really, like, it's like a really charming it's a really charming series. It's hard to explain because I was watching these and they felt really nostalgic in a way. I don't know if it was because I like lived in England and they were using those like terminology like snobbing or biscuits or like I don't know.
oh wait, they actually did.
for like snobbing for kissing. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was a
Wow.
real thing.
I guess
in
that's
England.
true, but to
Yeah.
me that's such a foreign world, you
Isn't
know?
it? Yeah. But like it was weirdly nostalgic because of the just like seeing like the verbiage, and Hogwarts was weirdly nostalgic. I don't know if that's because it's like kind of grown up with us throughout our childhood, even though I didn't watch the
Castles in this
movies.
thing.
Yeah. Like I really, really
Well,
enjoyed
you
it.
also grew up in England, so you probably saw something Hogwartsy, like just being
Yeah,
like,
like
oh,
the castles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was just like it was really cool, and it's like so easy to see how creative everything is.
And
like
you may have gone to Grand Central Station there, you know?
yeah, maybe. I think we probably did. I think my parents had to have taken me there. But even like the small little things, like Hermione's like on the deep purse, you know, you can reach in and grab a coat from a little
Yeah,
penny
yeah.
purse. It's like such good ideas, like really good. They really showcase magic in so simple, like simple little day to day things that kind of like really
Yeah.
bring the world together. It's
Yeah.
just really like well done. In
honestly,
general.
I would love to see like if we could somehow make it where you have like the new wizards, like maybe like in the future, right? Like a new storyline of like the new wizards, basically who are like, let's integrate magic with the world, like commercialize it, make it consumerism, right? Like, hey, I can hand out this bag.
That would be
which is
smart, but not something Wizards
1,000
would ever do,
Yeah.
right?
No, but like a new there should be like a new order where it's like integrate with the
The
world.
Gen Z Wizards.
Yeah,
Exactly,
the
the
TikTok
Gen Z
wizards,
wizards.
like, yo,
They-
how
they've
am
all-
I
they've all
doing
got
this?
phones,
Levitating
like,
this
It's
cup.
all about like marketing and everything like that, right? Versus the the more conservative wizards that we've like grown up with, right? I'd like to see like
Yeah.
a conflict there. Because
I think the
that'd
thing
be
with
really
Wizards
cool.
as well is they
Really cool
live
story.
longer, right? Like Wizards,
Oh, do they actually?
their whole life expectancy is like 200 years. I think.
I didn't catch that either from the movies. Interesting.
Because they're literally different, like a different species. I don't think it would come across in the movies, but they're a different species and they live longer because of that, right? The magic or whatever makes them live
Interesting.
longer.
Yeah, I watched this. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like the new Harry Potter game's coming out, and I'm just like really hoping it's good because I think that'd be
Same.
so fun to have like a Dark Souls type gameplay with like wizardry with the different spells and stuff. I
think my problem with
yeah.
Wizard and Magic games, though, is it's limited, and it will always be limited to what you envision Magic should be.
Yeah, I guess
Just
that's
because
true.
you have to
That's
program
true.
it, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
That's my biggest holdup with
It's
Magic
like how we were
games.
talking about last time. like D&D, right? You can't have a
Yeah.
true D&D game because you're limited by the virtues of your
Limited by the
medium.
technology of my time.
Yeah, you
Still-
literally
Well, no,
You're
with
limited
an
by the
actual
virtues of
Dungeon
the
Master,
medium.
you
Yeah.
could have a game, but like the Discord one you're talking about would be limited.
yes.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about like a D&D video game, right? Like a Baldur's
Oh,
Gate
yeah, that's true.
style. But with that, you're limited. You can't like expand the stories that your DM would have. It's just
Yeah.
it's limited to what the developers will have, right?
Yeah.
Now you get to have some really cool experiences there, but it's limited by its medium.
Yeah.
And
I
the
think
money of its
I
medium.
think if you could do a final thoughts here, VR game with mic input, when like you say the spell, you do the little wand whip with your VR thing. That's like you get a list of all
that'd
the
be pretty
that would be
cool.
dope.
get a list of
That'd
all
be
the
really immersive.
like very all the Hogwarts spells. Get a list of them, and then it's like you can learn each spell like on your own, and then you
Yeah.
can do PvP, little fencing matches, or do a little quest or whatever. That would be awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe there's VR chat stuff already like that, but yeah,
I don't know.
That'd be so
that would
cool.
be really cool. That's definitely
that
the
would
environment
sell.
to do it, though.
Yeah, that would sell so good. We gotta fund this.
Yeah.
we gotta do this.
I think one thing I want to mention, I may have mentioned before, but I have read it's essentially a Harry Potter fan fiction, right? But it's not a fan fiction in the normal sense, right? It's
Yeah. The loot.
it's just an alternate
yeah.
timeline, if you will.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah,
And it's called Harry Potter and the Methods of Rationality, I think. Mm-hmm. But it's what would happen if Harry Potter was instead not born to the worst parents possible, like step parents possible,
right.
but instead he got to stay with like two professors, college professors, right?
Oh, okay.
Who actually loved him and encouraged him to learn and become very scientific, right?
Uh-huh.
And then he got a letter to go to Hogwarts, right? So he's a science kid, and then he goes to Hogwarts and
He's like
is
he's
in
a
this world of
Ravenclaw.
magic.
He's not a Gryffindor.
What did he get into? I think he did go to Ravenclaw. Yeah,
That's
literally.
what all the science kids do.
Really
And,
interesting.
So it's super good. There's like 7 books. Super, super good. I would highly encourage a read because it also points out a lot of the things that I don't like about Harry Potter. You know?
Oh, really? Okay.
It makes fun of the things that don't make sense.
Oh,
right?
okay.
It does it
okay.
in a very good way.
Sweet. Okay.
So
Fan fiction is a beautiful.
good
thing.
recommend.
Cool.
Well, I think I want to final point I want to put on the tail end of this podcast is if you guys were in a house, what do you think house you'd go into? Not which one would you pick, but which one would fit your personality the best.
This
I want to
brings-
say Ravenclaw, honestly.
I feel
think,
like
yeah.
I feel like I'd just be Gryffindor. I don't really know the other houses other than Slytherin and Gryffindor.
So you have Gryffindor, which is like the courageous, brave, extremely outgoing. Then you have Slytherin, which is like power and I think there's literally a test
Ambition,
online. Ambition,
guess.
yeah. And then you have Ravenclaw, which is all about like knowledge and intelligence, and it's a little pretentious, honestly. And then you have Hufflepuff, which are much more down to
Oh,
earth.
the other two, Gryffindor is way more pretentious.
Really?
Oh,
I
yeah.
think
We're
Gryffindor's
the
the jocks.
self-proclaimed heroes of Hogwarts. Like, come on.
Yes, but like Gryffindor is like the jocks versus
Yeah.
the Ravenclaw are the nerds. Slytherin are like the business people, right? And then you have Hufflepuff are like the I don't know. What are
They're kind of the
Hufflepuff?
idiots, right? Like,
the idiots, the class
no one else
clowns.
wants them, so
Yeah.
they go to
the
Hufflepuff.
clowns.
Yeah.
wasn't Neville Hufflepuff?
Was he? I mean,
No,
that would-
he's Gryffindor.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
that would kind of work, wouldn't it? But
I think that Sorting Hat almost put him in Hufflepuff. Was that the thing?
I don't remember.
maybe. But he did
I don't know.
take
I
the
feel like
Gryffindor
I'd be either
sword. So
I'd
he
be
had
either
to-
Slytherin or Ravenclaw.
I think I'd be Ravenclaw or Gryffindor. I think.
I think Ravenclaw or
Sean, I
Slytherin
think
for
is the
me.
most Ravenclaw.
Well, okay, my dudes, we have another meeting to go to. We have another business meeting. So
business
I'm gonna
meeting.
end this podcast
Important
with
business things.
I'm going to end this podcast with why does Slytherin even exist? They are literally evil in the entire Harry Potter
They're not
franchise.
evil. They're just
Everyone knows evil people come from Slytherin.
I mean,
Why
like,
not just get rid of
in
it?
all honesty, they're kind of evil. I'm like wondering why they just don't disband the entire like class, but whatever.
Well, I think you have quite a few even people, but most of them are like pretty normal. They're just like ambitious, or they have a lot of drive. And
yeah, but no evil person is from.
Yeah, but of all the evil people who have existed in history, most have been Slytherins.
They're all Slytherin.
That's very true. Yeah.
Well, so we're gonna end it with why
they're gonna
do
have
they
exist? Yeah.
Like, just get rid of the house. Get rid of them.
Get rid of it.
All right. Well, friends, this has been Almost a Podcast. Thank you all for listening again. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the thumbs up, whatever you want to do. Leave a comment, please. See what is your favorite house? What's your favorite movie of the Harry Potter franchise? We'd love to know. Find us on TikTok and Reddit and all these different things that we're starting now. And yeah, just have a great rest of your evening, whatever time of day it is. Just enjoy it. Have a great life, guys. We'll see you next week. It's almost Christmas. Be on Santa's nice list. Peace to everyone.
Take it easy.
Nicely. We should take a Harry Potter quiz.
We should.
see
Yeah, I would
what
love
house-
to.
like,
I'd love to do that.
Just the official Pottermore one, right?
Yeah.
I felt
really?
it would be right because that's what you were arguing